In this video, we're going to be modifying the most expensive battle pack to ever exist, the ATTE set. A set I was rather excited to buy considering it comes with Commander Cody, even though I'm not a massive fan of the ATTE vehicle itself. But I know a lot of people are hyped for this set, so the least I could do is show you a couple of simple modifications you can do to your set at home to make it look that slightly bit more accurate. Now, one thing I do want to mention before this video begins, I've had a bunch of audio problems lately, so if my microphone sounds weird at all in this video, and potentially some upcoming videos, don't worry, I am on it. I'm in the process of fixing it, and that's why my videos, at least for last week, have been completely non-existent. I swear trying to troubleshoot some of these things have baffled 3 people now. But don't worry, you're not here to listen to my mic problems. You're here to see me modify this set, so let's jump in. Now, first thing I want to do is talk about the gun. Now, don't get me wrong, I think LEGO have done an excellent design of the gun here. It's just the piece color. And I understand why LEGO would go with a full normal gun here, but you can see from 3D models like this one, designed by David Onosaki, probably butchered that name, that the end of the gun is burnt, and has caused the gun to lose its grey colouring and replaced with a black one. Well, that's exactly how I intend to make this gun look a bit more used. You can see here that LEGO have tried to do something like this by making the gun entirely black instead of giving it the two-tone effect, but I think all we really need to do to make this look a bit more accurate is add that grey back into the already black gun. And that's incredibly simple to do. All we're going to do is take some of these Technic pieces and replace the existing black ones with grey ones, making it look like the gun has burnt over time. While ordering the parts for this mod, I also decided to get some of these single-piece lift arm pieces and just put them on the end of the gun to give a slight more accurate shape. I really don't like the fact that they've just added a Technic thing here. But anybody that watched my mods video on the Inquisitor's ship would know that I don't like missile launchers or stud shooters. And it's unfortunate, stud shooters seem to plague Star Wars sets nowadays. I really don't like even the newer kind of stud shooters that are shaped in this specific way. If you ask me, they're a lot more effective than the older stud shooters, being able to be launched a little bit further. In my opinion, they look just as bad as those original stud shooters. I don't mind missile launchers. I think they look relatively good and can be hidden into builds. It's just when you have the missile in there, they start to look a bit ugly. But considering the age this set is targeted towards, it's understandable that they're going to have play features on here. And unfortunately, this does mean that LEGO have decided to put 2 stud shooters directly on the side of the gun here. Now, I understand that this is a gun, but like I was saying before, these ones look really ugly on the side of builds. And even though the ones on this specific instance on the ATTE look pretty woven into the build, something about seeing those ugly green studs on the front of the build really does make it lose a few points in my eyes. And these ones don't even come with the correct color of blaster, assuming that these are meant to imitate the front gun. They should actually be blue. But either or, I think that the stud shooters should just go entirely. And once again, with a few simple light bluish grey pieces, you can easily change out these stud shooters and make it look like one coherent build. This makes the gun look a lot more flush in my opinion, and makes it just look overall a bit nicer. But speaking of making the build just look overall a bit nicer, this model's way too studded in my opinion. If you watched the video on the Inquisitor's ship a while ago, you would know why I really like that set a lot more than most sets that LEGO do. It's because they really struck a nice balance between the studded look and the tiled look. Whereas on this one, I feel like it's leaning way more in the studded direction. But with all LEGO sets that use the studded look a bit too much, it's most likely because LEGO didn't want to put more money into tiling this set off. I mean, the set is already 140 quid, we didn't want to spend even more just getting a more tiled off model. And some people would argue that this look is still fine. But for me, honestly, I'm just going to add a few more tiles here and there just to try and make it look a little bit more polished. And honestly, a place that really did need to be tiled are these giant circular areas at the top of the leg. I really don't think studs in this area looks very good at all, and considering that LEGO have brought out a macaroni piece, yes, that is its official name, in this radius of circle, I do believe it should be done in the macaroni tile. Granted, just remember if you're going to do this particular mod that these pieces are still relatively new, so they might be a little bit more expensive on Bricklink. But I really do significantly think this improves the look of the build. I wish they did this macaroni piece in a studded look as well, considering I think it would look even better if we could raise it up by one more stud, giving that slight illusion of the indentation that the real ATTE model actually had. And I think all of these mods significantly improve the look of the ATTE. But let's talk figures for the moment, because this set is quite significant when it comes to figures. Considering this set is the first time we're seeing Commander Cody in his Phase 2 form, I think these figures deserve some upgrades as well. Now, with most minifigures, the easiest part to upgrade is the arms. Most minifigures do not come with arm printing, and there's several options you can use to give your figures that little bit of extra detail. Now, Firestar Toys do make some 212th Troopers arms. Unfortunately, I don't have them to show you guys, but I thought I would show you the official version you can do instead, and that turns our attention to The Simpsons. Now, a good friend told me that they once did a CMF for The Simpsons that provides the perfect Marge arms for your Commander Cody. This gives the illusion of those shoulder pauldrons that he does have, and if you don't want to go down the customs market, this is definitely the option that you should be doing to your LEGO figures, even if it does make them look a bit more inconsistent with things like the 501st Troopers. And if I'm honest, that Marge figure is actually incredibly cheap, so you could even do this to all of your figures if you just wanted to give that little bit of extra detail and add a bit more colour into your troopers. But the one figure I didn't do this for was the Clone Gunner. Now, this guy looks a bit different, but I still wanted to give him the arm printing treatment. Now again, there's probably a customs version that you can buy from Firestar Toys if you're going down the customs avenue, but if you're not, then I think I've got the perfect solution for you. Once again, we're turning our heads to a CMF series, this time the Marvel CMF series, and we're going to steal the arms off of Monica Rambeau. I think these arms work perfectly for this type of a figure, giving that little bit of extra detail that you probably want out of figures that you've spent so much money on a set for. This just overall makes the figures look so much better in my opinion, and takes them to that level that I think that LEGO would do if they were to ever make a Star Wars CMF series. And positioning these minifigures next to the modified set, I'd say we got a relatively nice looking build here. Even though I've built a lot of LEGO models in the past, I still don't see how LEGO designers still manage to get such an iconic shape as the ATTE. Some of the angles on this build are just insane, and I definitely think it's worth the money that LEGO are asking for it. The only thing I think is a shame is they put Commander Cody in such an expensive set, but if I'm honest, from a business perspective it makes total sense, and it just means you'll have to save up a little bit longer if you want to get this set. I'm sure this set will be around for a long time, considering this set does have that figure that everybody's wanted for such a long period of time. That or LEGO will do what LEGO always do and put him in a cheaper set later on down the line. Although with this set completely selling out everywhere, and considering the figure's price still on eBay, I wouldn't imagine that that would happen anytime soon. I saw some people saying that I should make an extension like I did with the Inquisitor ship for this model, but I can tell you now, I probably won't be doing that. As cool as I think that that would be, being able to give a bit more detail to the one that we did for Tatooine, I just don't have enough shelf space to keep something like that with this ATTE, and considering I like the Inquisitor ship way more, I think I'm going to prioritize that base over making one for this. But trust me when I say I do have something else in mind for this ATTE extension, which I think you guys might be interested in. It's a little build that I've been working on now, but you'll have to wait till part 2 of this video to see that. Let me know in the comments if you're excited for that, and if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say the extension for the Inquisitor ship, you can click the screen now to go and check out my mods video on the Inquisitor ship, another fantastic set this year by LEGO, and we just modify those little tiny bits that make it a 100% perfect set. Click the screen now, I'll see you over there.